Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's topic is going to be about children being on social media and just the recent bans that have been going on in the past few years. Um, Australia is a good example. They've banned all social media for, I believe it's anybody under the age of 16. And there are other states here in the US that have either enacted some sort of ban or restriction on social media for kids. And I believe, statistically speaking, the majority of Americans are actually for banning social media use for children. I myself am a little more divided on the topic. I find myself more divided on the topic because I myself grew up with the internet. I got my first computer in 2007 when I was 8 years old, and while it definitely would have been best for there to be restrictions on a lot of those websites, I do believe that in my case and in a lot of other children's cases, it ends up being a net positive. Um, like, for example, some kids don't have much of a social life or a support system. They don't grow up in the best of home environments, and for those kids, online spaces are very crucial. It's important for their mental health. It's just important for them to be able to have spaces to socialize and to communicate with other kids their age and to just have an escape in general from their home life. And I understand that a lot of people are going to say, well, in that instance, if a kid has to use social media or the internet to cope from their home life, then they need to be taken away from that home life. And while I agree with that, currently, in the current circumstances, that's just not realistic. CPS is a failure. They typically will place, a lot of times, will place kids in even worse, more abusive households than they were already in, or at least, equally abusive. So until CPS is actually effective, until they can actually do their job properly and not place children in abusive households, I will continue to advocate that there be spaces for children online so that they can have some sort of escape. Because I knew plenty of kids like that growing up. I, to a certain extent, was like that growing up, where again, the internet was like a safe space for me and for a lot of other kids I knew. And so I just think it's important to maintain that for kids. Now, again, that's not to say that I don't believe in restrictions. When I was growing up online, I could go on places that I never should have been. Like Omegle, for example. Why on earth was I, at 11 or 12 years old, allowed to go and chat with full-grown men on Omegle? That was weird. That should not have been a thing. If my parents were paying attention and watching, it probably wouldn't have been. But hey, there needs to be restrictions in place that make it so that full-grown adults and underage children can't just freely interact and hang out with each other. That's not normal, and it's not safe. I think it'd be cool to even maybe have a children's zone and a teenage zone. That way the two can be separated and have their own spaces to communicate with each other or play games with each other or whatever. I just think that that's way healthier than banning them entirely, because what a lot of these places like Australia, for example, is finding out, it's kind of hard to keep kids entirely off of it when you ban it like that, because they just end up circumventing the ban by VPNs or fake accounts or what have you, So I think that inevitably, you're always going to have someone breaking the rules. There's always going to be some kid trying to get into the adult zone or something, but you just treat that on a case-by-case basis, right? Then that kid gets in trouble or something. It's odd to me that it's taken this long, because again, think about it. I got my first computer in 2007. I mean, back then, the age verification they had was literally just them asking you what year you were born and just taking your word for whatever you said. I, as an 8-year-old, could tell a website that I was born in 1967 and it would believe me. It didn't ask me for anything, which I don't know, and I have mixed feelings on that too. It feels a little weird having to give your ID to just sign up for a social media account. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that one. That's the hard thing with this subject. I feel like a lot of it I'm on the fence about. Like, I can kind of see both points. Like, I don't really want to be just having to give up my ID to any website that I want to make an account on, but at the same time, how else do you combat like a 10-year-old going on Instagram and saying, "Yeah, I'm 18"? That there has to be some method of verification somehow, some way. Yeah. I think that's pretty much about it. I think I've rambled about that one enough. Hope y'all have a good day. Peace out.